Well, federal agents are now walking Washington, D.C. streets alongside local law enforcement. It's all part of President Trump's decision to take over the city's police department in order to combat what he sees as an increase in crime. But some people aren't too excited about the additional officers. Scripps News congressional correspondent Nate Reed has been live on the streets of our capital. And Nate, what do you got for us?
Well, look, we're seeing a lot of unarmed or apparently unarmed D.C. National Guard here on the streets. We are just across from the U.S. Capitol. This is Union Station behind me. The last time we saw in Columbus Circle, which is where we are right now, this level of National Guard was in the days following the January 6th attack on the Capitol, January 7th, January 8th. Actually, the presence continued up here on Capitol Hill for several months as D.C. National Guard remained deployed. But you can see, for the most part, the extent is, unarmed officers in front of Humvees. We can walk a little bit this way. But, they've kind of fanned out all across Columbus Circle here. And this is an area that, especially kind of in the height of the pandemic, 2020, 2021, 2022, had a lot of homelessness. Now it seems like a lot of those people have moved out of this area. It's not clear whether they've been pushed out, though the D.C. Department of Health and Human Services has been trying to work on getting some of these people into shelters. At the same time, just not the levels of homelessness that we've been seeing in the past. And that's due likely in part to the fact that these, D.C. National Guardsmen are here kind of on full display with these Humvees, et cetera. We're walking right up to Union Station, the main train station here in Washington, D.C. And for the most part, these officers have kind of just been here, visual presence all day. They appear to have batons. They don't appear to be armed. It's a kind of very minor protest, as you can see, someone holding a sign saying no troops in D.C. Another couple protests are behind me as well. But this has been largely the extent of what we've seen so far here in D.C. And again, President Trump kind of had this wide-ranging agenda here of trying to clean up the city. He says that the White House, rather, is saying that D.C. National Guard are not able to make arrests directly, that duty is still falling on Metropolitan Police Department, the Washington, D.C. police officers here. What is interesting, though, about this last day or so is we've seen a new executive order from the Chief of Police, Pamela Smith, again at the direction of the Trump administration. And the goal here to allow the Metropolitan Police Department to have more access to immigrations and customs enforcement officials, people like, ICE, these agencies, federal agencies that deal with immigration status and deal with deporting people who are in the United States illegally. So in the past, there was less cooperation between the two agencies. Now, according to this latest executive order sent to the D.C. Police Department, which we here at Scripps News have confirmed, if you're stopped in a traffic stop, let's say, by D.C. Police, Metropolitan Police Department, they are able to liaise with the Department of Homeland Security, with Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, to try and get more information about your legal status and take additional steps, including transporting you, possibly to hand you over to Immigrations and Customs Enforcement if you're found to be in this country illegally. The Trump administration already touting the fact that as part of these checkpoints that they've set up around the city later at night, they have removed several people, or rather put people into the process of being removed from this country for being here illegally. Worth noting that amid all of this, D.C. Democrats are not at all happy about it. They say that the reports of crime from President Trump are extremely overblown. They point to the fact that crime statistics show that we are at somewhat of a 30-year low in violent crime right now. At the same time, the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser, has skipped town. She is reportedly in Martha's Vineyard. Her office did confirm to me in a statement that she's not in the District of Columbia. She's expected to return tomorrow. This as D.C.'s non-voting representative in Congress, Eleanor Holmes Norton, has not been seen publicly, has not appeared publicly at a rally, has issued a bunch of statements as D.C. continues to face this kind of unprecedented assault on its sovereignty from President Trump.
All right, Nate Reed for us outside of Union Station near Capitol Hill in Washington. Nate, thank you for that update.